Alright everybody, we are back and not muted this time. Very important. This is now round 12 of the MoJo Showdown. Time's really flying, it seems like, with this league. And today we are on Zandvoort, a track that I really very much don't like for league racing, just because, you know, I talk a lot about these tracks. They're just slipstream city, just a pain in the ass. You know, someone's within 7/10 of a second of you in terms of pace, they can just stick right on your ass all race just because of the DRS zones everywhere and slipstream. This track has the opposite issues, where you just can't pass anywhere because there's only really one opportunity to pass, and it's down the front straight. But the person could just hoard their ERS the whole lap and then just burn it down that front straight. You don't have enough time to get alongside them. But nonetheless, here we are on our qualifying lap. And again, one-shot qualifying, you just got to keep it nice and smooth, not be a hero on that lap. Just make sure it's a solid lap. And yeah, so far so good through Sector 1. The championship outlook right now is, I know that we're leading the drivers by quite a bit now. Constructors, I know we're leading it, but it's not the big gap that the drivers is. I don't know exactly what the gaps are. The standings haven't been updated in a very long time, but nonetheless, got to keep pushing forward. And I also forgot that there's that rule. They're doing a scoring system where it's a traditional scoring system, except your worst 3 results are deleted at the end of the season. So technically speaking, we still have a perfect season going, because the only 3 races we haven't won are the first round in Bahrain, which you guys didn't see, where I had a disconnect and I ended up finishing 3rd. France, which you guys saw, and then there was one race that I missed, and that was Hungary. And I think I brought up that I missed that. I was with family that weekend. Yeah, other than that, we've had all wins. So we still technically, with that rule of deleting the 3 worst results, still got a perfect season going, which you'd love to see. But yeah, we put together a nice solid lap there. Nice valid lap. I always like to show the qualifying lap. Some people like that. And as you can see, right there, it is pole position by quite a bit. And I forget exactly what happened. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is the race. Sorry, this is a couple races in the future that I'm doing this. And yeah, as you can see, there is no Timo in this race. Timo did not make it to this race, which is honestly both good and bad news for us. Good news is we won't have to deal with our main source of competition. Bad news is it makes for a more boring video, so you gotta take the pros and the cons, but nonetheless we still like to show at least a qualifying lap and the start of the race. And I assure you, the race does not go... It's not just... what's that gif where it's how the races went in 2020? It's like, it's lights out and Lewis Hamilton wins. No, it's not. It's nothing like that where it's just lights out, we're away, then we win. I wish it was that simple. I like simple league races sometimes, especially with how some of the other leagues have been going in terms of just wild incidents and bullshittery everywhere. I like the calmness sometimes. You know, it's a nice little change of pace. But yeah, the strategy I go with on this track is a softs to hards setup. You can make soft to mediums work if there's safety cars early on that allow you to extend the first stint. Nonetheless, softs to hards going to be the strategy. And we just gotta not F up our grid start and get away from the pack, and then just cruise and run our own race. We still are also leading the least penalties championship, or standings. Or the score, we have the least. They're keeping track of penalties. We have the least penalties, so that's good too. So we want to keep that going as well in this race. So the 2 goals are win the race in Timo's absence and don't get a stupid penalty. And as you can see, we've already got a caution here on lap 1. Must have just been a short temporary spin. No safety car. Great start. And yeah, we are away early on. And
there's been an incident on track resulting in loose debris, but fortunately the marshals have managed to clear it up in time and there are no plans for a safety car right now.
And yeah, I actually didn't know until like the last second that Timo wasn't going to be here. I remember now that we got into the lobby and it started booting up, and I'm like, wait a second, there's no William, or there's only one William. So, I mean, that's nice for us. Like I said, pros and cons. Pros is we don't got to deal with them. Con is more of a boring video. But yeah, if he was here, qualifying would have been a lot more important because, like I said, overtaking is next to impossible on this track. I consider this a very bad track for league racing because it's too skinny and there's no overtaking spots. So you just kind of follow each other in a parade, especially if there's a line of more than one car, so you just have a DRS train going. You're absolutely not going to be passing
There's
anyone.
been an incident on track,
And
but officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now. Just be careful.
11 drivers here today. And we are out in front just cruising, so we're going to fast forward a little bit. When I say fast forward a little bit, we're going to fast forward a lot of it. All the way to lap 12, nothing really happens until right here where I get loose and I try to save it. I do save it enough that I don't completely bend the car, but I do tap the wall. Luckily we're on reduced damage, so it was just enough to not get myself damaged. I kind of just went into damage control there when I felt the car spin, because I know if the car would have spun to the inside and would have slammed against that wall, would have been game over. So I counter steered, aired on the side of caution, let the car bounce off the wall a little bit. I even would have been okay with a little bit of damage because I could have just fixed it in the pits and still had the lead. But yeah, it's just those split-second decisions where I just thought, oh shit, anything but a DNF. I don't care if I get damaged. But luckily we were able to not even get damage there. So, but it shows you just how, a moment's notice, anything can change, especially when you're pushing right on the limit all the time. Yep, we are now on to our hard tire and just cruising. I mean, I think other drivers just had a lot of issues with this track. I will give them that. This is a difficult track to drive, like on the limit, especially on heavy fuel. But people were making mistakes early. We were lapping people by lap 5, and yeah, it's just like something else I've touched on before in previous videos, but I'm touching on it again. When people say, I hear it all the time, people bring it up. It's like, oh, you got ABS. Oh, you got the racing line. Like, yeah, like, sorry that I can't memorize the braking points for every corner on all 23 tracks in the game when I'm also doing both the Nations Cup and Manufacturers Cup. And I was on until Vanguard, a Call of Duty team, so I had to know, you know, the spawns and rotations on how many different maps and game mode combinations. And I traveled to tournaments for Street Fighter, so I gotta know 1 metric fuck ton of frame data, especially considering that there's almost 50 characters into the game. So you gotta give me a little bit of break here with the whole memorizing of things. I already got a lot of game information up here that's useless in the real world. You know, give me the pass on this one, okay? But nonetheless, jokes aside, like, it is still frustrating. You know, you hear people saying like, "Oh, he's winning the races, but he isn't with no assists." Like, wait, the difference isn't assist here, guys. The assists are a handicap. There's a ceiling to how good you can be with an assist, and the ceiling without the assist is higher. So they're a handicap. The difference in these races is not what assist people are using. The difference is the preparation. Remember, the military, the 7 Ps, prior proper planning. Ugh, I can't fuck it up. Prior proper planning prevents piss poor performance. And no, I'm not judging people in terms of like how much they practice the game or all that kind of shit. But it's still true. Like whether, like I understand, people got other things to do in life. Like maybe some people are just like, yeah, I just like the league race because it's like a open lobby race where I don't got to deal with Constructor. Some people are like, I want a league race because I want to try to get really good at game. Whatever your reason is.
1 minute 14.5.
You know, I get it. You know, we all have our own lives. Some people are really busy with school. Some people like me were really busy with work. Blah blah blah. You know, I don't know what other stuff you going on. You could be someone like me that's playing other games competitively, not just F1. You know. But at the end of the day, the practice really does make a huge difference. So, like I said, I'm not going to judge you if you're not getting the practice in. But if you're not getting the practice in, you can't also be mad about the people winning because they are getting the practice in, you know. And I see like people complain about the track, they won't practice. You got to have that mentality. It's like, man, I don't like this track, I'm not good at it. I'm going to make myself good at it. I'm going to drive this track until I am comfortable in this track. And there's just a lot of people that aren't putting in those practice laps, and that's where the consistency comes in. I mean, yeah, it's not just as simple as do a few laps on the track and you're lightning fast. You know, it's a gradual thing over time. But it can really knock down on the unnecessary mistakes and spins and things of the sorts. You find where those trouble spots are on the track, and you err that little bit on the side of caution to make sure that you don't hit that hot spot, so to say. Like, for example, with me, in terms of my setup, it's the last corner. You'll probably see on some of these laps, if you're looking at my telemetry, that I have just the slightest little crack of a lift, you know, where I go like the 90% throttle at the apex of the bank corner at the end, just because I know, like, hey, that can be a hot spot when the tires are warning you going full throttle, as you saw when I was coming to the pits. So err that little bit on the side of caution, and that just, like I said, prior proper planning. You know, you just practice is really where it's at. I can't emphasize it enough. The biggest mistake I think all league racers make is the preparation. It's like any competitive video game is more of a test of your knowledge than it is the skills with your hands. Like, obviously, to be elite, you gotta have both. But the thing that will set you apart from other people anywhere close to your skill level at any rank in any competitive game is knowledge. I mean, I can name countless examples of this. I've won countless league races just because I knew how long the tires could go. Like, for example, I won a league race in Spain, and like the hardest league I race in, with tons of incredible drivers, just because I knew that the mediums could go further than everyone else did, and just because I knew that simple fact and had that prepared going into the race, I won. You know, it's little simple things like that, or even like things where like people play first-person shooters. We've been playing the same game modes for like fucking 12 years, and people still don't know the one thing you have to do in hardpoint: rotate. That's it. Like, if you play Call of Duty and you rotate in hardpoint, you're already top 15% in the game. That's no bullshit. No, it's just the simple shit. Or like fighting games. It's like, if you learn the very fundamentals of fighting games, which is space control, you're already better than 3/4 of everyone that touches fighting games. You know, it's, like I say, it's all about fundamentals. It's more about what you know than what you can do with your hands. And obviously, being technically skilled is important. And to be elite, you gotta have both. But yeah, you see it all the time. Just by being prepared coming into the races, you can just eliminate so much shit, so many of the issues. And again, I'm just going to reiterate it. These results I'm getting here, I could turn off all my assist and maybe be a couple tenths slower a lap. We're still going to get the same results. The only reason I don't have it off is because I'm just not quite as fast. And I use assist until I'm faster without the assist on every track. That's how I do it, that's how I progress, because, like I said, I'm also league racing, so I gotta be as fast as I can all the time. And yeah, the difference is not assist, the difference is the preparation. The difference is I know what the tire strategy is.
Caution.
The difference is I have experience on both light fuel and heavy fuel in these runs, and the difference is I know where my limit is, and I know that error very much on the side of caution in the certain hot spots or risky spots of the track.
Slow
that
down.
is the difference.
Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace.
Yeah, nonetheless,
Understood. Stopping this.
I'm getting a little bit on a tangent, as I tend to do, but like I said, I need some filler in here, so, you know, if one person learns one thing from all this bullshit I say over the course of all these races, it's worth it. And again, like, it's a 25-minute video so far. If you can take one thing out of this, it's like you're competing in anything in gaming at all. Focus more on the knowledge part than the gameplay part. The gameplay part will come with time, but you gotta earn the knowledge. You gotta do your research. You know, I sound like your teachers, but you gotta do your research. Like right here, we've done our research. So when that safety car came out, I didn't even have to think about it. I knew exactly what I was doing. I knew I was going to mediums.
Exit now.
And again, if you're prepared for this kind of stuff, that's a lot of mental capacity you don't got to put in the race. I just think about driving. That's it. Only thing I think about is driving. If I see a safety car come out or anything, I just instantly know what tire I'm going to. Hell, 99% of the time I already have that tire queued up on my MFD just in case, and I just hit box. We're in there. So, yeah, nonetheless, we box onto the mediums. We'll be taking these to the end of the race. And I believe we'll let that lap car go. Yep.
Approaching the safety car.
And we're going to cruise behind our friend Mylander for a little bit. As we fast forward to the end, we're now at the end of lap 21. We'll be lap 22. We cross the line. Safety car is coming in. And we are gunning it. We get a good jump, or I should say second doesn't get a good reaction to us leaving. And hopefully we can build that gap right away and make the rest of this race as simple as possible. We got another caution behind. A lot of early cautions off of all these restarts and the start of the race so far. And I don't remember seeing the incidents to know exactly what happened. But nonetheless, when I'm driving, I'm just thinking, whatever, you know, just focusing on my race. Because, like I said, this is a tricky track to drive, and as you saw at the end of my first stint, one false step on one corner, and that can be the end. But, yep, we are here leading. Don't know what else to say here at the moment, and we're going to fast forward a little bit. Bringing it forward a big chunk, nothing really happened after the safety car, except as we head to the beginning of lap 35 and to lap 34. We know that we have enough of a gap that we can box the softs and make sure that we should secure the fastest lap of the race, just maximizing the situation.
Stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving.
We got a pretty big gap after the safety car. You know, we're not worried for the space between us and the second place car. And as I will show this lap, because the lap coming up will be the fastest lap of the race. I know some people like to see qualifying lap, beginning of the race, at least beginning of research, safety cars and fastest lap of the race. I feel like those are the hot spots of the race, especially a race like this where, like I said, my main competition isn't really here, so outside of the restarts, there wasn't really anything too eventful going on other than me almost completely fucking up my race at the end of my first stint. But something else I gotta touch on here is that unfortunately there was an incident under one of the safety cars at one point in this race, and to not get too into it, basically my teammate did purposely hit someone at some point in this race, and this league, which I approve of them doing, is they are uber strict on incidents. They very much want incident-free racing, which I obviously agree with, and someone causing incidents on purpose is just unacceptable, and they made the decision to release him from the remainder of the season. So, while I completely understand it, it is inconvenient for us in terms of the championship, because now we have Timo and a Williams, a barcologist who hasn't had great attendance, but when he's here, scores great points. So we got two great point scorers for Williams against Logan. Just me, the Logan show. And I always say the Logan curse, specifically in this league, is every time someone gets near me, they tend to spin. But the real Logan curse that's been going on since I started league racing is that I never get teammates that are good, like, for fuck's sake. It's incredible. Like I said before, I think I have, what is it, 5 or 6, I forget how many league races and championships I have in this game specifically, but of all the ones I have, it's like 5 or 6. I only have one Constructor's championship. It's not great numbers, but you can see our fastest lap here, even though I talked over it the whole time. Jeff is in there. And we pick up another win, and we did what we need to do in Timo's absence. And perfect season is still on. So yeah, fortunately for us, it was a barcologist at DNF, so only 1 point as he DNF'd in 10th. Only 1 point for Williams, and decent points for us in the Red Bull. I actually don't know if our teammates' points actually didn't count for this race or not. That's actually a pretty good question. But, you know, who knows, because like I said, points have not been updated in a hot minute. But we are able to get the win in this race, penalty-free. And yeah, that's going to be it for me for this one. Sorry, this wasn't the most exciting one to talk over. I tried to fill in the middle by just talking about some stuff that I know other people in the Discord community have been brought up about assists and what the difference actually is. I kind of got on a little tangent, but that tends to happen. But hey, it made the video longer, so I'm looking on the bright side here. And yeah, I'm just gonna cut myself off here before I go on another random bullshit talking spree, and you guys can just see us spraying the champagne and get a nice shot of the results here at the end if they are needed down the road for obtaining standing. So I will see you guys in the next race. Again, sorry about the hiatus with videos. I've been very busy lately with between work and going to the gym and running on top of that, and obviously doing other stuff in gaming that's not just this league. You know, you only see this league, but this is a very short part of what I do over the course of the week. There you can see the results. We are first, 22nd gap, even though we pit. Andrew second in the Mercedes. Michael Orange getting on the podium. I believe that was his first podium. Only 2 DNFs, MoJo and Barkologist. I believe the Barkologist DNF was due to our teammate. And yeah, good points for us for both drivers and constructors championships. I will see you guys in the next one.